It's Josh and Derek in the morning.
What is this?
It's so stupid.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the Aggressively Medium podcast with Lee.
You did
I was thinking, don't say Lee.
And then
Don't
you
say
said Lee.
Lee. And I said Lee. With Derek and Josh.
That's us.
Shout out to Lee. His birthday was 3 days ago.
Well, happy belated, buddy.
It's going to be like 2 weeks after this podcast airs. But yeah, man, I miss you.
Miss you too, bud. You got to come back down and let's like talk
be on the
guns.
podcast.
Yeah. Be a guest on the podcast that you started.
Yeah. Speaking of, Josh Bechtel sent me an idea.
Hey, Josh.
Today. You know Josh.
I do know Josh.
We both know Josh.
Shout out Josh. And Liam. What's up, Liam?
He said, I've got an idea for the podcast. I'll sit on the wing to help you guys remember those things you have on the top of your tongues. So, like, he would be the guy. If you've ever watched Joe Rogan, he would be like Jamie.
Okay.
Like, he'd be like Googling.
I'm in. You're hired.
Yeah.
Come on in, Josh.
I told him, what did I tell him? I said, I'm always down.
Absolutely.
So, you just have to have a very flexible schedule.
Yes. And like last minute as all get out.
Yeah. But yeah, so how's your week?
It's been good. It's been waking up early every day. We got 21 days of prayer and fasting.
Is that why you're waking up early?
Yep.
That stinks.
It's great. I'm actually like, because I'm tired right now, but like,
Yeah.
I normally I wake up and I'm like, I don't want to be up. But then like after I'm up for like an hour, I'm like, all right, I have way more energy than if I slept till 7. Like it's been good.
Good.
What about you?
Well, college is starting back.
You've been going to college.
Campus is starting back. So today was the first full day of like kids being in classes and stuff. So thank God, because that's what my business relies on. And it took a hit. Granted, I didn't prepare very well.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason.
Has it been good since they started back?
Well, I mean, today was
today was the first day back.
today.
Okay.
Yeah. So kids have been trickling into town Monday and Tuesday.
But you haven't had any events.
Well, we've just been on campus
Okay.
for those two,
Gotcha.
and like they weren't horrible
Yeah.
by any means, but they weren't like what we normally hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's picking back up. So
Well, good.
thankful for that. Also, just throwing this out there, which this will probably be 2 weeks from now, and so hopefully I've already got the position filled by then.
There you go.
But if anybody's looking for work and they're looking for steady work and they're looking for a decent paying work, I think it would be decent paying.
I like money.
Hit me up. Or if you know anybody.
You heard it here, people.
Monday through Friday, lunch.
And listen, I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. If you know somebody that would be good for that role, if you send them to Josh and he hires them, he will give you a referral fee of 1 sandwich.
Yes, you get a free sandwich.
Look at that. I'm out here
For
making
sure.
things happen, people.
So you were talking about it earlier, 21 days of prayer and fasting. So
Yeah.
our church every year goes through 21 days of prayer and fasting.
Really? So does our church.
That's weird.
I know. It's almost like we go to the same
Where do you
church.
go?
I go to Church of the Highlands. Where
Oh,
do
I
you
don't
go?
there.
Oh.
They're a cult. Just kidding. They're not a cult. But so anyways,
And you do go there for the record.
yeah, I do go there. But yeah, we do 21 days of prayer and fasting. It's a time to just like really give the first of the year to God.
Yep.
And really like dive in deep and really focus on the things that you want to focus on for the year and give some things up. I am giving up caffeine
Oh, wow.
and sugar. So you found that gummy bear on the floor, and I bet you money I would eat it.
Okay. Here we go. Whoop.
Yeah, that's a good
I don't know
idea.
if anybody could hear that, but it's gone.
Because it
now.
was literally like making my stomach
It was
hurt.
hard as a rock.
Gosh, I don't even care.
So when you say giving up sugar, like a lot of things have sugar in it. Are you just giving up like added sugars, like candy, or are you giving up like fruits too?
Not giving up fruits.
Okay.
Because then really all I'd have to eat is meat.
Which probably has some sugar in it.
Probably
to
so.
some degree. Yeah.
No added sugars. So
Okay.
I can do fruits. I can do peanut butter. But that's really it.
Okay.
I mean, there's not
No sweet tea.
No sweet tea.
No Monster Energy drinks.
Monster Energy drinks.
Oh my God, it's a miracle.
I've done this once before. I've done no sugar before, and I've done no caffeine before. But I've done only once before have I done no sugar and no caffeine. And I can't remember what day it was that it hit, but it was the worst headache of mine. I thought I legit almost went to the emergency room because I thought I was having an aneurysm.
Wow.
Because your body is detoxing, and it's like
it sucks.
Yeah,
I've done it.
Yeah. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Headache when it comes around. Also, the podcast might not be as animated as it normally is
Because we're tired.
because we're tired and hungry and thirsty.
Yep.
And oh man, the things I would do for some
Gummy bears.
Coke.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola. That's what I want,
Yep.
not cocaine.
Well,
Coca-Cola.
I hope everybody knew that.
Yeah.
They might not have.
I hope so too.
So I'm doing a water only fast.
For the whole 21 days?
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm really not doing that.
I was about to say, you're fasting water. Is that what you're doing?
No.
For 21 days?
No, so I am doing I'm doing no added sugars and no candy, no sweets is what I'm calling it, but that includes no added sugars. So no sweet tea, which I drink a fair amount of. No sodas. But really what I'm doing is I'm focusing on on just eating better. So meeting with a nutrition coach, Josh Giambalvo, if anybody knows him.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome guy. He owns Fruit Lovely here in Tuscaloosa. But he's helped me with some nutrition stuff. Got me set up. I'm kind of trying to stay to some macro goals that he's given me.
Yeah.
And so really that, and then really giving up social media. And that's pretty much it.
Are you, I know this is one of your goals because I edited the goal setting podcast recently.
I listened to it today.
Are you doing the, have you started like any type of workout regimen or doing any running or anything like that?
I have not yet, just because I have not had time. I've had
It's understandable.
so much going on this week.
Yeah.
But no, I was going to do that today, but I remembered tonight's motion night, so we'll be at church.
Oh, yeah.
So I may try to get some in tomorrow.
Nice.
But we'll see.
Do you have a plan? I mean, I'm
Yeah,
assuming Josh set you up with something or?
Not yet. So really, the first week, he just wants me to he told me just to eat normal, but I'm like, I can't do that. It's 21 days. So I can't eat normal. But so I'm going to do, my plan is to 3 times a week, at least one of those be walk/jog a mile, at least a mile.
Yeah.
And then the other 1 to 2, I'm going to do a combination of push-ups, pull-ups, and squats.
Nice.
Like just body weight, all body weight stuff.
Dude, body weight stuff will wreck you.
Yeah. So that's kind of what my routine is going to look like
Nice.
for a little while.
Yeah. The I don't know if you've ever messed with Couch to 5K before, but it's a pretty good I used an app at one time and it was like, okay, jog now. Huh?
Was it Joggo?
No, it was.
Okay.
I think it was just called Couch to 5K,
Okay.
like the name of the app.
Mm.
But it would you'd be running and it would say, all right, pick up the pace, do a sprint, do a jog, do a whatever, go to a walk, and at intervals it would tell you to do that.
That's cool.
But yeah, I thought it was a
lot harder than it sounds.
Yeah. A lot harder. Except, I'm on day 1 and I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can do this. This is rough.
Normally day 1, you're like, oh, I got this.
Yeah.
It's day 2 and 3 that you're like,
No, day 1. I don't run. That's not a thing that I do.
If I'm running, you should be too, because
Yeah.
that means I'm out of ammo.
If I'm running, the world's falling apart for sure. But yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm excited for you. The offer still stands. Anytime you want to come roll with me, I got mats.
I may do that.
I got mats.
I may do that.
You
got Matt's what?
Matt's number. Matt Gregg's number.
Okay, yeah.
I've got Matt Gregg's
Cool.
number.
You want to share it on the?
No, I don't think he would appreciate it.
He may not like that.
No.
You know who I think would like a shout out there?
Yeah, go for it.
So I want to shout out my buddy. Last week or week before last, we were talking about haircuts. talking about barbers. So I went and saw one barber today, Billy Peak. He is at Mobley and Sons, and I want to give him a shout out. He used to be he was originally at Mobley, and then he went to Greasy Hands, and then he went back to Mobley, and it's Mobley and Sons. They're in the Gallery of Tuscaloosa.
Is he the only barber there, or do they have multiple?
No, he's the only one there, and he's real small. Like there's not a ton of people there. You can always, for the most part, get in within like 2 or 3 days. Schedule an appointment. Sometimes you can get in same day if he has any cancellations. But anyway. I told you to go check him out, and you're like, you know what? I don't know. So you're on the fence about it. So I got you a little gift.
Oh no!
I got you a gift card for a free haircut.
Oh my gosh!
Including the tip.
Including the tip.
So
nice.
Go get you a haircut on me.
I wish you'd have gave me this a week ago.
Well, you know what? You're gonna need another one here in a few weeks.
Well, weeks is a stretch.
Okay. Well,
I'm like months.
Oh, okay. Well,
I get my haircut extremely short.
Okay.
And then I'll wait until it's unmanageable, and then I go get a haircut.
Stick that in the old billfold.
Shoot, yeah, man.
And when you're ready, go to mobleyandSons.com. Go to
set up my appointment.
The grooming room and book online. Man, it's the only way you can book.
I'm going to be a fancy man.
You are. You are. So
this is awesome.
Enjoy it. But shout out to Billy. I appreciate you always getting me looking good.
That.
Yeah, buddy. High five.
Man,
slap hands.
That makes me feel so comfortable inside.
Oh, not awkward at all.
Nah, not at all. I enjoy that. And maybe he can meet the requirements that I need.
He can,
because I think was it me and you that were talking about?
We talked about you want somebody to wash your hair out after.
Yeah, I need
washes mine out every time.
I need my hair to be washed. I need it to not be awkward.
Uh-huh.
I don't care about small talk.
Yep.
I don't want to be like, so what do you? Oh, what do you? Oh, yeah. All right, BS.
Yeah.
I want a good conversation. I want a friendly conversation.
Yeah,
like if me and you sat down and that's what I want.
Yep.
He doesn't meet one requirement.
He's not a woman.
That's true.
But
that's
you know
true.
what?
Because I just feel it, and this is not me being a creepo for all the nobody who's a woman that listens to this podcast, but women have more of a stylized eye when it comes to haircut. I rarely have, if you put the best barber that I've been to and the best hairdresser I've ever been to, I feel like the hairdresser wins out because they have that eye. But maybe I'm proved wrong.
I think you will be.
Okay.
I think you will be. And normally I would say yes, absolutely. Yeah. Because like if you think about your old school barbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The women have better.
When I've been to.
But with Billy, he's got that, like he knows.
Yeah,
and really the I don't know if you ever shopped at Mobley and Sons, but like I dressed very different than what I did when I first got married.
Yeah.
When I first got married, I was wearing like whatever the clearance rack at Target had. Now, like Danielle's got me like caring about the way I dress.
Yeah.
And so the first few times I would try to pick some out, she's like, maybe not.
Maybe not.
So she got me in with Mobley and Sons, and shout out to them too. Like you go in there, they will get you looking sharp.
Yeah.
They know what style looks good on who. Like you know what I mean. And Billy's the same way. So anyway, go see him. He's an awesome barber.
Nice. Well, I'm excited about that. Sweet. I do the same thing. So Meg cares a lot about how I dress, and I'll show her something. I'll be like, "What do you think?" And she'll be like, "Nah." And then there's sometimes I'm like, "Forget you." People used to like before we were married, and I was dressing to impress, not overdressing, but dressing to impress. People would be like, "Man, you got style."
Yeah,
and then
it worked to hook her, didn't it?
Who?
It worked to reel Meg in.
Oh, yeah.
You hooked her.
Huh?
You hooked her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you said it, not me, man.
Hey, you know what? Danielle told me
that
she doesn't like the boots with the
Tico Vice.
The brown boots with the gray. If you're not watching on YouTube, you're missing this. But I think it looks good. Are you trying to look at the bottom of them?
What's gray?
Gray pants.
Oh.
Yeah, she doesn't like the gray pants with the brown boots. I think it looks great.
I'm going to be honest.
So you know what? I'm rebelling against her.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think anybody cares.
I don't think anybody does either.
Nobody. And this is because I know me as a person, I've never looked at somebody and been like, oh my God, they have black shoes and brown pants on. How dare they? Like, that's like, it's after Labor Day. And
they're wearing white.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, heavens.
I'm not. Yeah.
Clutching your pearls.
Yeah. Anyways, what were we talking about?
I don't know. Speaking of our next topic.
Speaking of our next topic, so I'm gonna give you some time to settle in on this. I'm gonna bring it up now, and then we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
I want to hear, if you had unlimited money, what business would you start? We can talk about it. We can talk about it in a minute.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah, sure.
What is the purpose of it? Like, what's the goal? Is it to make even more money? Is it to what's the?
I mean, I think with any business, it would be to make more money. I think you as an individual would have a hard time doing a business that didn't make money because you would be upset.
I mean, if I had unlimited money now, can we put $1 million limit on it?
Sure.
Okay.
We can put $1 million on it.
Because I know my answer already. So go ahead.
Oh, I don't know if mine could get done for $1 million because I just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It might could, but probably not.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was listening to this TikTok earlier, and it made me. This was a really good question. So this girl was saying like, "Hey, what's your like?" Everybody's had like dinner, and like you're at dessert, and like the conversation's kind of lulling. What's your like? I'm going to pull this question out and like make it a standout question and like really get some people to engage and have answers. I don't have a question like that. I just talk to people like normal.
Yeah.
But this is a good question. And I was like, okay, maybe we should talk about it. So, you die, you go to heaven.
Okay.
God's standing there. He's like, hey, look, man, I'm going to give you 5 more minutes. But you can't see your family because it'd freak them out. Like, they'd be really weirded out if you came back right now. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Go back to Earth. Do whatever you want. I'm going to send you wherever you want. Sorry. Go wherever you want. I'm going to send you wherever you want. You can do it. I mean, eat a meal, sit on a bench, just watch the world go by. Where would be your...
Can I interact with people? Not my family, but people that I don't know.
Sure.
Okay.
Why not?
People that don't know I'm dead.
Yeah. Why not?
You want me to answer that right now?
Yeah.
I would go, I'd have to think about exactly who, but I would go to somebody who is in a place of power. The president.
Yeah.
Somebody like that. And I would do everything in my power to share Jesus with them. Because I think that would have the greatest impact.
Yeah.
On not just the whole world, but like my family too. Like, it would have so I think that's what I would do.
So if you couldn't interact with anybody, where would your place be? Where you just had to sit there and like watch time go by.
So my family would be my first choice, but you said it can't be my family.
Be a family. Yeah.
I mean, if I can't interact with people,
just a place that's like, man, this is just the place.
This is cool.
This is like, it could have like sentimental value to you. It could have like you went there once and it was just beautiful, or like this is where you had your first kiss,
or you've
with
always
your wife,
wanted to go.
Somewhere, yeah, maybe somewhere you've always wanted to go. Stuff like that.
I would say, man, that's tough. I really don't know. I guess I would, I don't know. If I can't interact with them, I would say I would want to go on a tour of the people that I've had the biggest impact in their life in a positive way, and just kind of like the Ghost of Christmas Past,
like see where they're at.
Just kind of see where they're at, but only the positive. I wouldn't want to go see the negative ones.
Yeah,
because there's
the people
probably
who are
a lot more of this.
Yeah. Mine would be it would have to be on the one spot on the Appalachian Trail that me and a buddy Heath Dunn. I don't know if he listens anymore. He used to be. He was like one of our first guests on the podcast. Anyways, we did like a 30-mile section of the Appalachian Trail, and
was it through the Smokies?
It was right after Rowan Mountain.
Okay.
But like there was just this one section that I specifically remember that it was just like these. It was like rolling, like you come out of this tree line, and then it's just like it's like rolling hills, but it's like big like mounds.
That's cool.
And it was kind of like as far as the eye could see. And we had been hiking for maybe 15 miles at this point and still hadn't seen any civilization, which was the weirdest thing to me.
Yeah.
And like, I get you're on like a very small sliver of the earth while you're traveling through, but it just, to me, it was like, man, we're so disconnected. I don't know. Maybe I could have like spit and hit a car from where I was.
But you couldn't see it.
But it was just these rolling mounds and
That's
just
awesome.
like, it was just like one of those like, man, the vastness of earth and what God's created. That'd probably be my spot.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I hiked part of the AT.
Huh?
I hiked part of the AT one time.
Yeah. Where'd you?
We went through the Smokies, but the highlight of that point was Klingman's Dome.
Yeah. I like
Yeah.
Klingman's.
It was really cool. We hiked all the way up there to Klingman's, and I want to say we did about 30 miles maybe over the course of a 5, 6, 7 days, something like that. But we got to Klingman's and right before lunch, and it was so cloudy you couldn't see nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, man, this sucks. So at the base of Klingman's Dome is a tower with like a spiral walkway going up. If you've never been there, but in the base of it there was essentially like a storage room. Yeah. But the door was unlocked, and we did this hike between Christmas and New Year, so it's literally freezing. Yeah. So we're like, you know what, we're going to go in there just to get away from the wind because this is the highest point on the AT. And so we're like, we're going to get away from the wind. We go in there. We're like, we eat lunch. We're in there probably 30, 45 minutes maybe. We walk back out, and it is clear as day. Like, it is not a cloud in the sky. It was so cool.
That's awesome.
It was really, really cool.
When we were doing the section of Rowan Mountain, there was a spot that everybody was like, man, this is the spot. Like, when you do the AT, like, people stop at this spot and they're like, just marvel at it. And it was so cloudy. It was windy, and it was just like, cool. And then I think at that point was when we were trying to do a shortcut too. And man,
didn't work.
That bit us hard. Hard bit us. Either there or there's a spot on that same trail. There's a shelter. I can't remember the name of the shelter. It's a big red barn on the AT. Over something. Anyways, there's a toilet that's outside the barn.
It's like an outhouse.
No, because there's not a house. It's a toilet.
So is there running water to it?
I don't think so.
Okay, so it's like an outhouse without a house.
Yeah,
it's just an outlet.
And like it's in this like little pocket of the world, and it's just like beautiful.
So you can
you're just pooping, and you're just like, man, God is good. You
That's
know?
awesome.
Like,
that's so awesome.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. I loved that part.
That's cool.
Some of the other questions that people had were, let's go around the table and everyone say one thing you like about me.
That would be torture free.
That would be horrible. What kind of HPV do you all have? If you were going about your normal day, how many owls would you need to see before you thought something was wrong?
2.
Probably 3. I like 1, I'd be like, oh, cool. 2, I'd be like, that's weird. 3, I'd be like,
okay. Who is doing this?
Yeah. Somebody said, where's the bathroom?
Donde está?
Who is a celebrity you hate for virtually no reason?
I'm going to say LeBron James.
Really?
He's so whiny.
Well, that's a reason, right?
Okay. I don't know. I don't really know him.
I'm sure I've got some that I just, Jeff Gordon. God, I hate him.
I don't really care one way or the other.
Yeah, I know you don't, but I hate him.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I wouldn't if I were you too.
I don't know why. But yeah. Yeah. Let's see. What is something creative you're working on right now? Seeing people light up about their interests is always fun.
That's cool.
What's the last thing that cost you nothing but made you happy? That's a good one.
Yeah.
Probably this.
Yeah.
It didn't cost me nothing. It made me happy.
Oh yeah, it did cost me a little bit, but it made me happy.
If I would have ate that gummy bear,
That would
That would have been
made you happy, but it would have broken a tooth because that thing was hard.
that's fun. Okay, let's go around the room and say who we don't trust. Yeah. But yeah,
That's cool.
Cool question to think about.
Yeah.
Another
it.
cool question to think about. I had a friend of mine send me this question, and like this, I want to get your take, and then I'll say my take, and then, or if you don't have a take, if you just like,
Okay.
hey, I'll defer. What was before God? Was there anything to create God?
No, God exists outside of time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That we live in a linear world.
right.
There's a point A and a point B,
Right.
or a time A and a time B.
Yeah.
There's a beginning and the end. God is outside of that.
Uh-huh.
And one person I heard it described as, when you get so far away from that line, everything looks to be the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you had, a line, and then you zoom out really far, eventually it looks like one point.
Right.
And he can see all of that at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he is within all moments at the same time. And so when you think about what was before God, you're thinking of it as a linear time.
Right.
And a very like human mindset of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And it just,
I actually thought about that the other day.
he's outside of that.
Mhm.
And so that's one of the things is like when he forgives your sins, he forgives past, present, and future,
Mhm.
because it's all,
'Cause he sees them
it's
already.
it's all one
Yeah.
thing to him.
Mhm.
It's not, you're in this moment at the same time you are before you were born,
Right.
and after you die. It's
Right.
all the same moment. And that's another reason that like when you die, it's not going to be like you're waiting on somebody to die.
Right.
Like you're not waiting on your wife to get to heaven.
Right.
It's like she's already, like, you're existing in that moment at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But in the Bible, it says, your ways are higher than my ways and your thoughts are higher than my thoughts, talking about God.
Right.
And like, it's a thing that we would not, we can say it, but we can't comprehend it
Mm-hmm.
because we've always lived in time.
Yeah.
And so he exists in a place that we can't comprehend. And his thoughts are outside. Like, we think of everything as black and white, and he has a very different, like, we couldn't fathom the things that he thinks.
Right.
And so I don't know. I just thought it was a cool question.
It is. And I thought about it. It's ironic that you asked that because I thought about it this week. Like a few days ago, I was riding down the road and that question popped in my mind, like, not who created God, but like just the idea that God exists outside of the concept of time.
Yeah.
And I was like, but that doesn't make sense. Like, because like nobody on earth has ever understood what that means.
Yeah.
Then doesn't that mean that it's probably made up or, a load of baloney? And I got thinking, I was like, well, I mean, there's a lot of things that people don't understand. Like, I don't understand.
Math.
I don't, magnets, how do they work? Insane Clown Posse. Anybody?
Yeah.
Anyway, no, but like, I don't
Deep
understand
cut right there.
black holes.
Yeah.
I don't understand a lot about astrophysics. Really, pretty much anything about astrophysics.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand a lot about a lot of things.
Yeah.
So what makes that any different?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, even so I think even within the scientific community, there's a lot of things that people do have an understanding of, but
Mhm.
based on the scientific process, and then it's with the data that we currently have.
Yeah.
I think it was like 2007, 2008, something like that. We had always thought of oxygen as the building block of life.
Mm.
Anywhere there is oxygen, there can be life. There has to be oxygen for there to be life.
Mhm.
But they found this small organism or whatever, and it didn't rely on oxygen to live. And so it was like, for the past however long
Mhm.
we've been, because we did the scientific process, you take any organism, you put it in somewhere that doesn't have oxygen, and it will die. Versus we find this thing that lives outside of that. And so it's like, well, our entire understanding of life is void, null and
Mhm.
void at that point. And so I think even within the scientific community, there is an understanding, but to a point.
Yeah.
Because it's based on all the information that we have or that we've been given at that point. And so who knows, in 50 years, there might be a thing that's like, oh, black holes. No, those are not exist. Those don't really exist. It was actually this other thing that we thought was a black hole or what,
Yeah.
could be whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So
That's good.
Yeah. I forgot. I had something else I was going to say and I can't remember. Man, dude, lack of
Sleep. It's a real thing.
Well, I was going to say just lack of caffeine.
That too.
Going back to that, the reason that I gave up sugar and caffeine was because they are two big crutches in my life. I will not go to sleep and not get enough sleep because I know an energy drink is there to save me. And so I'm not treating my body right because I know there's an out.
Yeah.
Sugar is the same way. Instead of having a meal, I'll go get a Snicker bar and a Mountain Dew and down both of those and be like, I've got my calories. Like my body can now fuel itself. And so with those two things, they're very much like crutches in my life that I don't treat my body right because I use those things. And so
caffeine puts me to sleep.
So,
which is really not, it's becoming more commonly understood, but
I've heard it's because you're dehydrated.
I'm severely ADD. And but as a child, I was diagnosed ADHD, which I think I was. I grew out of the hyperactivity side of that. And so now I just have a lot of trouble focusing. But when I was a kid, my mom would give me caffeine right before bed.
Yeah.
And like you're thinking, why would you give a hyperactive kid caffeine?
It made him go to sleep.
It made me go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so a lot of things like if you ever can't get Jason to go to sleep, give him a Mountain Dew. I'm not even playing, like try it one time.
Yeah. I might try it one time when Meg's not here.
That's fine.
Just so that like only I have to deal with the repercussions if it goes bad.
Sure. But it worked with me tremendously.
Yeah.
And
I can drink a Coke and go straight to bed.
It doesn't have any effect on me now.
It takes
one way or the other.
To me, it
doesn't
takes
wake me up.
A lot of caffeine to do anything.
Now, if I drink a lot of caffeine, like I drank a Celsius for the first time. You know what that is? Really high caffeine energy drink. And I already had like 2 or 3 cups of coffee. And when I say coffee, like Americanos, so like pretty strong coffee. And when I drank that Celsius, like I'd had so much caffeine that I could feel my heart racing. Yeah. But I wasn't like wired. Yeah. I was like still even kill up here. So
yeah, caffeine to me, like if I drink one of those monsters, I'm not like, yeah. It's like, oh, I'm awake. Like it's not a like, man. It's just like now I'm at an even playing field, I think, like with the rest of humanity.
Yeah. It doesn't bring me up to even.
No.
It just doesn't affect me one way or the other.
Yeah.
So it's on. As a kid though, it would make
you go to sleep.
Tired, yeah.
But yeah, somebody told me one time it was because I was dehydrated that caffeine didn't do anything to me. I was like, it wasn't like a scientist or a doctor or anything. Also, I started taking Alpha Brain, but like not the pills, because the pills I didn't feel like did anything to me. I take the it's like an instant, like you can put it in water.
Okay.
You're supposed to put it in like 8 ounces of water. I put it in 2 ounces of water because it tastes gross.
Yeah.
But I can legitimately tell I'm like more focused.
Really?
I can sit down and do something, which is really nice.
We need to talk about, not today, but we need to talk about ADD on the podcast.
Yeah, we definitely can.
It's a superpower.
I have a kid with it. So.
I love it. I love it. Love talking about it. Anyway, I got a joke for you.
Okay.
You know how to catch a polar bear?
No.
So to catch a polar bear, you go to the Arctic.
Is this one of those jokes that doesn't have an ending?
No, it's a very quick joke.
Okay.
It's not a Meg joke. God. So to catch a polar bear, you cut a hole in the ice and you put a bunch of meat in there.
Okay.
And when you see a polar bear sneaking up to it to try to get the meat, you run around behind him and you kick him in the ice hole.
Kick him in the ice hole.
Oh, shout out to Chris Albright for that one.
Good. That seems like a Chris Albright joke.
It's a good joke.
It's a good joke. No, it's a great joke.
I love it.
Do you know what you call a girl on a swing with no arms?
No, what?
Sarah. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Not Sarah.
Not Sarah. Who?
She can't. She doesn't have any orders. She can't.
I see what you did there.
Did I do the one the other week about? Oh no, I'm not going to do that one.
Okay.
That's a bad idea.
That's not a good joke.
I might have told you before or after the podcast. I'm not saying it on air.
That's smart.
Um,
When in doubt.
yeah. So business, new business idea.
Oh, NB. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. $1 million. What you got?
So if you give me $1 million,
Shooting range.
no, if you want to throw away $1 million, that's what you do. So $1 million, and let's assume that the goal is to build that up to the point where I have an astronomical amount of money that I can then use to do good in the world.
Okay.
That's kind of where I get, because that's really my life goal.
Yeah.
So I would do very similar to what I actually did. Now, granted, I didn't have 2 pennies to rub together, much less $1 million. But what I would do is start up an insurance agency or some type of business that generates residual income.
Mm-hmm.
So with an insurance agency, if I write a car insurance policy, I get paid a certain amount of whatever the premium we bring in is. And I get that same percentage when I write it, and then every time it renews. So car insurance policies with most companies renew every 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So every 6 months I get paid again on it
Yeah.
until you cancel your policy.
Yeah.
And so the more you write, the bigger you build your business up, the more residual income you have coming in.
Yeah.
And so
and then when your buddy calls you and he's like, something happened to my house, you're like, I'm sorry, man.
sorry, bud.
This is the 3rd time you've called me
Yeah.
about a different problem and I can't do
Yeah,
anything.
I'm glad that never happened between me and you. Anyway, then I would take some of that money to build up. So with State Farm, they're a captive agency as opposed to an independent agency.
Okay.
Captive means I can only write through State Farm and the companies that it owns.
Yeah.
Independent means I can write through any company that's not captive.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I would do is start any kind of insurance agency. Wouldn't really matter. But if you go with anybody pretty much other than State Farm, you either have to buy a business or you have to start from scratch with no customers.
Yeah.
Either way, if you buy a business, you could easily spend $1 million doing that. If you start from scratch, it's not going to cost you near that much.
Yeah.
State Farm, I'm very fortunate they gave me my business.
That's awesome.
Now they retain it when I retire, so I can't sell it. But
Yeah.
anyway, so I would do that, and then I would use the remainder of that money to buy investment properties. Starting out, I would probably do single family and small multifamily, and then kind of grow it from there.
Yeah.
The whole point there is creating passive income so that I can then go do whatever I'm passionate about.
Very good.
That's what I would do.
Great idea. Mine is not as practical.
Okay.
Mine is I would buy a piece of property close to campus on the river,
Okay.
and then I would make it a beach.
Ooh.
And then I would have a hot dog and hamburger stand right in the middle of it. And then I'd rent jet skis. You could go on a banana boat ride, maybe even parasailing.
What?
It would be the beach in Tuscaloosa. And then I would also have a barrier around it that we could like black out if we needed to for sorority parties and fraternity parties. You're telling me they ain't going to come have a day at the beach.
I love it. I'm saying you would make some money.
You should make some money. I think you would.
Yeah, I think you would too, especially with the hot dog stand.
Even
Doggy.
in the summer?
Yeah.
In the summer?
Get you a little lemonade stand too.
All these, like, I'm not going to say poor people, but
people who are of lesser means.
People who don't have a boat.
Okay. So people who don't have a boat are poor people.
I'm poor.
I'm poor too.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's awesome. So I got to figure out then what would I do. And you know what? I think I would start a shooting range. If I'm not going practical, I think I would start a shooting range because there's not one north of the river on Tuscaloosa that is a public range.
I think that'd be a good way to waste $1 million too.
Absolutely. You could make one heck of a shooting range.
Yeah, you could for sure.
Now, it would lose money. You would lose
Hand
your butt
over
on
fist.
it.
Yeah.
You would lose your butt on
I
it.
don't think I would lose my butt. on my beach.
No,
if that's what you're saying.
I don't think you
if
would.
that's what you're saying
not
right
what I'm
now.
saying. That's
if
not what I'm
that's what
saying.
you're
That
saying.
is not what I'm saying.
Then we will fight right now.
We can fight, but that is not what I'm saying.
Because I think it's a great idea.
I want to partner with you on that one.
I think it's a great idea. I want to do it.
Do
I've been hesitant to share it with certain people.
You know
'cause
what?
I'm scared they'd steal my idea.
Bet you just shared it with 25 people that listen to the podcast
Sometimes.
on a good day. I bet you could find some property on the river to purchase.
Yeah. I don't know if it'd be $1 million though. That's it. Like it would cost a buttload to buy the property.
Now, if you're buying it like where you can walk to it from campus, then yeah.
Pretty much.
But there's already a place on the river that has a beach. Buy that, Rocky Branch. Buy that.
Oh, that's so far.
But you have a charter now.
Can you buy Rocky Branch? I thought that was like
No.
a county thing.
But I'm sure everybody's got a price. It's a state park, but everybody's got a price.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
If you offered them $1 trillion,
it needs to be close to campus. Look, you're making fun of me, man.
I'm not.
Look,
I know,
my
I really
idea
do.
is a solid idea.
I really do think it'd be a great idea.
It's a solid
if
idea.
you could buy where the Manderson Landing, the park at Manderson Landing, if you could buy that location and turn it into a beach, money all day. Absolutely.
Because like I said, poor people who don't have boats,
AKA poor people.
AKA poor people, would flock there, man.
Like, I don't want a boat.
I want a boat.
I want you to have a boat so I can go play on your boat.
Yeah.
I don't want to own a boat.
I want a boat. But, man, and we were talking about this the other day, how there's no, like, so you have Lake Tuscaloosa, you have Lake Harris, and you got Lake Nickel. None of them are either easily accessible or have a good place to go for the day. Like, there's nowhere on Lake Tuscaloosa that you can just go hang out. You know what I mean? Like, you could go to the dock, I guess, but like, there's people putting their boats in. They'd be pissed off at you. Oh, well, see, there you go.
Yeah.
And you can't swim off of those either.
Right.
And so if you had a spot that you had a beach on the river,
I got an idea.
You could go swimming.
Sandbar. Take that $1 million and buy $1 million worth of sand.
Look, man, stop making fun of me.
I'm not making fun of you.
Look,
I
love a sandbar.
I do too. That would be awesome.
That's what you're building.
Listen,
that's what I said. You make a beach.
I love it. I'm literally not making fun of you. I really like your
Dude,
idea.
stop making fun of me for my idea. I think it's a great idea.
I think
Anyways,
it is too.
moving on.
Moving on. How much time we got?
We're at 42 minutes right now.
We're good.
So do you know the reason that To Catch a Predator stopped filming? You remember To Catch a Predator?
Yeah,
you were on it, right? You were the bait.
I was a little boy when they busted you on it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take a guess here, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Okay, hold on. I want to get. Okay, go.
I'm going to say that it was a liability reason, because I'm going to say somebody was like, "Oh crap," and then just hit the eject button. I'll say that off to themselves.
Yeah.
Am I right? No.
It was the assistant district attorney of Texas.
Oh.
Lewis William Bill Condrat Jr. It was live on air, and he
Live?
Well, maybe not live.
Surely they didn't air that.
Maybe not. They were okay. So, 2006, local assistant district attorney in the United States, after Texas police served the man with a search and arrest warrants stemming from an NBC Dateline perverted justice online sting of men soliciting that for with children. Let's see. I thought it was so after SWAT breached the home, he shot himself. He was masquerading as a minor. Oh, wait, no. Okay. I'm just going to go through this whole thing. Perverted Justice and Dateline conducted their sting, luring men to a bait house in Murphy, Texas. Condrat was one of the men who was solicited the PJ volunteer masquerading as a minor, but did not travel to Murphy Instead, a group of police, Dateline, and PJ personnel executed questionable arrest warrants at Condrat's Terrell, Texas home. After SWAT breached the house, Condrat shot himself. It was a point of contention over To Catch a Predator's three-party relationship between law enforcement, civilian volunteers, and the news media. Police were criticized for improper execution of their duties in the service of ratings, and NBC was criticized for leading police operations at the expense and safety of justice. Ultimately, there continued to be unresolved conflicting claims from both people involved in this thing and investigative journalists who have researched and reported on it. $105 million wrongful death lawsuit was brought by Condrat's sister, was settled out of court, and none of the men arrested in this thing could be prosecuted.
That sucks.
Yeah. So
now their reputations are ruined, and I'm sure if they lived in the South, they would have gotten justice would have been served.
Yeah. But yeah. So that was it.
That's crazy,
man.
I'm not surprised. Obviously.
Do you know the reason that River Monsters stopped the TV show?
No, I didn't know it did.
Yeah, because he caught them all. He caught every elusive fish there ever was, and so it stopped.
Really?
Yeah. Crazy.
He ain't caught Bigfoot yet. He ought to go to Mountain Monsters.
Fish.
He ought to go to Mountain Monsters.
Mountain Monsters. Look, I feel like you're making fun of me again.
Oh man.
Oh Lordy. So, do you want to hear a crazy story?
No, not really.
All right, never mind.
So speaking of crazy stories,
You
got a crazy story?
Do you
for
have
me?
one?
I don't. I just
okay, in the 70s in Kramastorsky, Ukraine, a man was working in a granite quarry, prepping for industrial planning of the area, and he was using his level at the end of the day, trying to do some stuff with his level. As he was wrapping up his work, he lost the level. And so couldn't find it. And then he goes home. 10 years later, in 1980s, the USSR is prepping for the 1980 Olympics in Moscow. Uses this granite quarry to build Olympic facilities. After the Olympics are over, the buildings are used as apartment buildings. Mm-hmm. It's a high-rise apartment building. There was a specific room in this apartment building where this like little kid got leukemia, passed away, died. Family moved his brother into the room, his other brother into the room. He gets leukemia. He dies. This happens multiple times over the years, and people cannot explain why people in this one specific room are getting leukemia and then dying.
But they keep moving people in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's Russia, and it's probably low cost housing.
Yeah.
But everybody is like, well, maybe there's like a predisposition, like hereditarily, to having leukemia. And it's like, there's no way that everybody in this apartment, just this specific apartment, had members die. So it gets really weird. All the people in the apartment who died slept in the same room. So, and they slept against the same wall of the room. 10 years later, after the apartment building was built, authorities took down the wall that appeared to be causing the deaths. Health physicians found a high level of radioactivity coming from this one wall. Upon closer inspection, they found a tiny ampule, about 4 by 8 millimeters, filled with highly radioactive Caesium-137, which used to be used in levels.
Wow. Found the dude's level.
Well, they found what was in the level. I don't know if they found the level.
So how did he not get it? The guy that lost the level.
Well, because I mean, it was
because it's
encased.
contained in glass.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was contained in glass, and
But
then
the
essentially
glass
when they crushed it,
Yeah.
they released that chemical into the rock and then into the wall, and then everybody died.
Man, that
Yeah.
sucks.
Hey, anything can get you.
You know?
It's not. I mean, it's crazy.
Like
Crazy story.
You know what our levels use now?
Hmm.
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's just water with a little bit of food coloring in it.
Yeah, but they're like, you know what? We need some
Why would you?
radioactive
What makes you
material.
think? Hey, you know what? Water's too expensive.
Yeah.
The 7 drops of water that it takes to put in a level, that's too much money. We're gonna put some radioactive waste.
Hey, I guess if you just got some laying around,
You know, why not?
you might as well.
And I'm sure Russia's got plenty of it.
Yeah, they probably do. But yeah, I just thought that was a crazy story. Crazy story. There's one thing that's on here that it's been on here for a while, and
Let's
I
talk
don't
about
think that we have time to go into it.
Okay.
So we'll have to wait
Where
for
we
another
at?
day. 51.
51.
Let's do movie game.
Let's do movie game.
Movie game. Movie game.
Movie game.
Okay, so as always, you're keeping the score.
We need to come up with
Correct.
a theme song for that. by the way.
Movie game. Movie game.
Movie game.
Josh wins.
Until today.
Okay. Well, all right. What should do you have? Do you have a strategy?
Beat Josh.
Okay.
No, I don't.
You don't have to.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. You got to come in here with a strategy,
All
man.
right. My strategy is to go mid-range on all 3.
Mid-range on all 3. It's a good.
So for those who don't know what the movie game is, for
Oh,
our
yeah.
new thousands of podcast listeners,
Yeah.
tell them
the,
about it.
The movie game is we will pick 3 movies. Those movies have to get whoever gets closest on the Rotten Tomatoes score to 150, and are we doing the audience score or were we doing the critic score? I think we're doing critic score.
I think we're doing critic score.
So the critic score of a movie and all 3
Now
movies.
we can change that if you want.
It don't matter to me. I mean,
I don't know.
but yeah, so all 3 movies have to get to as close to one. Whoever gets closest to 150 based on the critic score wins the game. And I am so far undefeated.
And not just against
What are you
me.
Googling right now?
Nothing.
That's the
I'm
thing.
writing my things down. Look, I Googled 2000s movies, movies from the 2000s.
Okay.
And I'm going through and picking my movies.
Okay.
I don't, for those that are not familiar with this, I don't watch movies. Like I'm way too ADD to watch a movie. We went and saw that, what was that airplane movie?
Top Gun?
Top Gun, Maverick, which was phenomenal, by the way.
Oh,
But
I was about to say, if you talk crap,
no, that's an incredible movie.
if
But
you
that's
talk
like the
crap-
movie that I watched before that. 3 years probably. Like I don't watch movies. So anyway, that's why Josh beats me all the time.
and I know a lot of movies.
Yes, he does. He watches them nonstop. He gets paid taxpayer dollars to watch movies.
Some would say. Okay, so you're keeping up with the scores.
Okay.
What is your first movie? And I will Google it.
I'm gonna say Mission Impossible 3.
Mission Impossible 3. So, starting out, your first score is a 71. That's
Dial that back a little bit.
fairly mid range.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's
like
good.
to get, I feel like to get.
But if I do
50s
3 of those, I'm done shot. 71, you said?
yeah, 71. But like, it's not if you go over 150
Mm-hmm.
because I could go.
Way over 150.
Yeah. So my first movie will be, it's a new movie, and I'm banking on, from the things that I've heard, I have not seen this movie, but I'm banking on the things that I've heard it being a highly rated movie, and it is called Banshees of Irishmen. And it has Colin Farrell in it, and then also another guy that what was that guy's name? Brendan Gleeson. You've
All
seen
right.
stuff with him before, I'm sure. Let's see. Okay, so Rotten Tomato score. First score 97. So
All right.
From here, my goal is to get 2 crappy movies.
Yep.
All right. What
Oh,
is
man.
what's gonna be?
Astro Boy.
Astro Boy.
That looks great.
Let's see. Astro Boy. Was that an animated movie? Yeah, it was. 2009. You got a 50.
That's mid range.
Yeah. Astro Boy. 2009 kids and family action movie. I remember that movie. I remember it. I don't remember if it was good, but I remember it. So,
I don't remember. Never seen it.
yeah. Well, that doesn't surprise me. For my second movie, I'm going to go with a fairly new movie as well.
Okay.
That I thought was a pretty okay movie.
Okay.
But I don't think that critics probably thought it was a good movie. It's very interesting. Just to lay the plot out there for you. A woman is getting done with dinner, getting into a car. She gets a phone call, and then she blacks out. I think maybe somebody hits her, or she gets into a car wreck. Don't remember the specifics.
Okay.
When she wakes up, she is a slave, like 19 or 1800s
Okay.
on an antebellum farm slave. As the movie goes on, she's trying to talk to all these other people, and everybody's kind of like, I don't know, like they can't really talk to each other a bunch. Turns out it's not a time travel movie. There's a group of extremely racist people who are upper elites,
Really?
and they have made a fake antebellum home, and they have convinced all these African American people that it is
time travel.
yeah,
Wow.
and that they're slaves essentially.
That's crazy.
But I thought it was a pretty good movie. So let's see what antebellum. And she ends up getting off the thing off the ranch or whatever. I think she ends up killing a bunch of people too, because they're
That's
bad
cool.
people.
Good.
So I am 30.
30.
So I'm effectively at like 120 something, 127.
What's the movie called?
Antebellum.
All right.
Are you fact checking me?
No, I
Okay.
was typing it in.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm at 121. You're at 127.
Yeah. You're at 121.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, so it's close.
Yep.
It's close.
We're within 6 points. All right. I don't know.
Man.
Hold up. While I'm looking, I
Okay.
want you to look up a movie. I'm not guessing this movie because it
Okay.
was an incredible movie and I don't want to go this high. What was the movie we just talked about?
Oh, Indian in the Cupboard.
That's a great book that I read in 5th grade. But the plane movie that we just talked about.
Oh, Dances with the Wolves.
You're a goober.
Huh?
Top Gun, Maverick. What was its score? I'm not guessing that one. That's not my.
It's really high. I think I've guessed it before.
Okay.
And it was a 96. So pretty high.
Pretty high. All right. I'm gonna go. This one looks pretty boring.
Avatar.
I'm gonna go Last Days of Lehman Brothers. Lehman.
The last days of Lehman Brothers. Come on now. Come on. Where's the okay? Last days of Lehman Brothers. Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes does not have a Last Days of Lehman Brothers. They had I don't know if you want to do this, but instead of Rotten Tomatoes, it has IMDb and a website called Film Affinity. But I don't know if you want to.
I mean, no, let's stick to it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's stick to it. What is it? What's the IMDb?
6.2 out of 10.
So that would be
it'd
roughly 62. Yeah. No.
That's why I was hoping that you would go against
Yeah,
that.
I bet. All right. I'm going to go. This one looks great. It probably doesn't have a score. Rogue Trader. It is a 1999 film.
Rogue Trader. Okay, here we go. Rotten Tomatoes. You have a 30.
No.
So what's that get you? What's that?
151.
What do I have to get?
Today is the day,
What do I have
sir.
to get?
Today is the day. You have 127. So you got to get, what's that, 23?
I got to get 23 to get 50. But what would I? So what?
If you, in order to win, you have to get 23. In order to time it, you have to get 22 or 25. Right?
So anywhere between 22
Hold
and
on.
25?
97 plus 30 is what you have. You have 127 minus 150. So 23 would win it. 24 or 22 would tie. This is the first time I've ever stood up on the podcast.
Okay.
Are you sweating in your boots?
I'm a little nervous.
Oh.
I had one that I was like, I think this one, but I think that I think it's a little too low.
Oh, man. Victory is sweet.
So,
For the record, I've not seen any of the movies that I've picked. So this is all dumb luck. But
I've only not seen one of them.
what's the closest you ever gotten?
I don't know.
Have you ever gotten 151 or 149?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Somebody go back through and listen.
Yeah.
and tell us.
Somebody. Not us.
Not us.
Somebody though.
All right, what are you going with? This is epic. This is the greatest day of my life on the podcast.
So, I had a movie and now I'm second guessing my movie.
You should. What is it?
I'm going to go with another movie.
Okay.
And then I'll use this other movie another time, maybe.
Okay. I won, and I'm so excited. And if you somehow
I hate this.
squeeze it out.
So, it was a movie. Nickelodeon made it. It was an alien movie. Planet something. Planet 50. Planet 52. Planet 51.
Planet 51 in 2001.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I remember that movie.
Planet
Yeah.
51.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Planet 51, Rotten Tomatoes score. I want you to look it up.
Did you cheat?
I did not cheat. I want you to look it up. I want you to look it up.
You cheated.
I want
You
to-
cheated.
How did I
You
cheat?
cheated.
How did I cheat?
You cheated.
How did I cheat?
Because you know these things.
I know these things.
He cheated everybody.
And still.
I am contesting that. There is no way you picked one that was exactly what you needed to win.
Okay. How did I cheat though? I
don't know, but God does.
I'm autistic and I have like a backlog of like movies and
So you've
in
looked it
their
up before?
IMDb. No, that's what I'm saying. Am I autistic and have just like the ability to retain all this information?
No.
Like that's my autistic trait.
So that means you looked it up.
How did I look? When did I look it up?
I don't know.
Do I have like
You know what you did?
1 through 100?
I think you have 1 to 100 memorized.
I swear I don't. I swear I don't. I don't have that many. I don't have the brain capacity for
I'm
that.
never playing the movie game again. How does that, like, I'm supposed to believe that you didn't cheat?
Look, the audience score is 40.
Look, I I got 151 and lost.
Look, I'm just saying, you don't bet against the house.
Don't
bet against the house.
What did we even do? All right, that's it. You know what? Fine.
You never bet against the house.
That helps you sleep better at night.
Mm-hmm. How did I cheat?
I don't know. I don't know how you cheated. You gotta look at it.
Okay.
You gotta look at it.
That's why I told you. I want you to look at the score.
If I come back and say if you're at 151, you got this thing in the bag. And I come back and I say exactly the number that I need to win it, would you think I cheated?
No.
I would have if I did that.
I would have.
Anyways.
And still.
It's okay.
Undefeated.
God knows what you did. It's okay. Anyway, guys, y'all have a great week.
Yeah.
I'm going to go be a sore loser.
Go watch Planet 51.
I will
it got
not.
a 23%
I will
on
not.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Anyway, y'all have a great week. Hey, look, if you have any topics that we can talk about, send them to us. Leave them as a comment. Most of you know us, so shoot us a text message. And if you want to come be a guest, shoot us a text message. That way, and if you know movies, come show us. We want you on the show. Anyway, y'all have a great week.
Bye.